Hello and welcome to Lift the Load. I am your host, Claire King, and I've had a really great week. At the weekend, I went to see my friends that I've had for 20 years. They are my university friends. It was so lovely. We don't get to see each other that much. One lives in Philly, one lives in Hove, so one lives nearer London. So it's hard, especially juggling families getting together. But my God, did it fill my cup. There wasn't anything particularly exciting that happened. There was lots of shopping, wandering, mooching, food, a few drinks. It was just the best vibe. I completely and utterly filled my cup. And on the way home, on the train, I just felt so incredibly grateful to have such good friends that I don't need to speak to every day, but when I see them, it's like I've never been apart. The friends that if anything, if the shit hit the fan, they would be there without a doubt. And I just felt so warm. And that kind of got me thinking, because I then walked home, I got home and I walked in, and then reality, everyday life comes crashing back down. I was really glad to see, obviously, Steve and Lizzie, but that reality of boom, here we go again. The fridge was empty. There was nothing for school packed lunches the next day. We needed to do a food shop. There was the house was a little bit of a mess. And I was just like, one minute I was grateful, and the next minute I am wondering how I can be thankful for the endless laundry, because I was then behind, because I hadn't done any over the weekend. The fact that I all of a sudden now had 47 tabs open in my brain again, and I'm like, And then I thought about it, and we're bombarded. We're bombarded every day about being grateful. It's the new thing. It's one of the things that we should really do for self-love, and it's for our self-care and self-development. Gratitude is important. And I just got me thinking, how do we feel gratitude when we feel overwhelmed? We're told to be grateful, but it's not a magic solution to stress. You might be feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and a lot of the time, I sometimes wonder if I'm just running on caffeine and willpower. And then we look on Instagram and then there's someone going, just count your blessings. And I'm like, Susan, count your blessings, and I'm not sticking you in the eye with a soggy, bloody daffodil, because I've got 101 things to do, and I'm surprised I haven't screamed at anyone yet. In seriousness, this whole thing got me thinking, it got me researching, got me looking into gratitude a little bit more. And it does have some power. It can shift your mood, it can shift your mindset, and apparently it can actually change the signals in your brain. It's a bit crazy. So it does have some benefits, but how do we make it fit into real life? How do we make it less Pinterest perfect and more realistic? Because for mums, gratitude can easily become another thing for us to do. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't have time to endlessly journal or meditate, or God knows what other things that someone's come up with. And I definitely don't want to be waking up at 4 a.m. to bloody do it. Because I'm going to be honest, ladies, I'm already starting to wake up at 4 a.m. and that is really, really ticking me right off. But I think that's got more to do with perimenopause. But that is surely an episode for another day. But like I said, if you've got a plate and it already looks like a buffet, you don't want to be sprinkling gratitude on top like it's some onion crispy bits. It's not going to make things better. It's probably going to give you wind. So let's be honest, we need to think about how we can make gratitude work for us if it's actually this really great thing that can help us feel better. So I started researching, like I said, about gratitude, but beyond the fluffy quotes on Instagram. Okay, I came across an episode from Mel Robbins called The Science of Gratitude. And she said something that really stuck with me. She said that thanks and gratitude aren't the same thing. Saying thank you is external. It's manners, it's politeness, it's an exchange. You say it and then you move on with your day. Someone might open the door and you say thanks. Someone might pass you the ketchup or, let you out of a junction and you're like, thanks. You're like, that's great. And then a moment later, it's forgotten. Whereas gratefulness or gratitude is external. It shifts the focus. It actually makes you feel in a better mood. Like when I saw my friends, I genuinely was in such a great mood. But we can't ignore the fact that life is hard. It doesn't stop life being hard. And we kind of have to try and look at gratitude at being something that is about seeing what's good even when things are heavy. So, like I said about the brain bit, there's some really cool bits. And apparently it does rewire your brain. So you actually look for more positivity. And I could definitely deal with that. I can admit I could be a negative Nancy. And those days when you wake up and you spiral, like something bad happens and then it continues to spiral. Like the other day, I was frantic. I was running late for the school run. I know there is these bloody traffic lights that are taking, they're three-way. They're taking an extra 5 minutes onto the journey. And my kid was on go slow and I'm like, hurry up. Then all of a sudden I can't find my phone. I'm manically looking for it. I'm buzzing using my watch, trying to find it. It's not beeping, okay? It's just showing me how close it is, but I can't find it anywhere. I'm like, screw it, let's just go. I then go all the way to school, get back again. I've only bloody posted the phone again in her school bag. No word of a lie. Twice in a month. Like I said, perimenopause, I think, is coming my way. But that, again, is, like I said, a story for another day. But what the actual, So I'm done that. I then come home. I then need to move the trap bar, which I then smack into something. And it just seemed to just cascade one thing after the other because you start to look for the negatives in things and you think, what's the point? I'm having a really bad day. So gratitude can be a really great way for you to look for the positives and it rewires and filters out those kind of things. And you literally start to notice more that makes you feel safe, calm, connected, which, I'm sorry, I am definitely on board with. I definitely need more of that in my life. But it gets messy, ladies. It's not just about going, oh, I'm thankful or I'm grateful for having a cup of coffee this morning. It doesn't really work like that because we, as humans, have a tendency to throw things around like a plaster, band-aid it up, feeling overwhelmed, be grateful. Your toddler's lost their shoe again. Oh, well, at least I've got a child. You're exhausted, but hey, at least you've got a job. And I guess in some ways they've got a point, but it becomes a little bit toxic. That forced cheerfulness. It's not, you're smiling through the chaos and actually, are you even grateful? Or are you just saying it to make yourself feel better? And it becomes this kind of way of actually gaslighting yourself. It stops being positive all of a sudden and just ends up being something that's even worse. So we've all heard it. Be grateful for what you have. Other people have it worse. You should be thankful. At least you've got a healthy kid, a roof over your head, food on the table. And yes, gratitude can be powerful, but if it crosses into toxic territory and when it's used to shut down your emotions instead of process them, then it's toxic gratitude, quite frankly, and that's not helping anyone. So what is toxic gratitude? So you can use gratitude to silence yourself, like I said. So you tell yourself you shouldn't feel tired, angry, overwhelmed, because you should be grateful. It's not gratitude, that's self-gaslighting. You can be grateful and exhausted. You can be grateful and struggling. Those feelings can coexist. We are human beings. We are very multi-layered. We're like onions. Come on, we're like Shrek. We're like onions. We can have more than one feeling. There can be lots of things going on. And we can also use gratitude as a comparison tool. When you think, I shouldn't complain because someone else is worse, you're dismissing your own experience. It doesn't make you more grateful. It makes you more emotionally disconnected. We have our own little bubbles that we're going along in. And just because our experiences are different to someone else's, and they might not be as bad, doesn't mean that we can't acknowledge those feelings. We can't experience those feelings, because we are human. Social media is terrible for comparison. And this is a way that often we can become very toxic in our nature and getting into like the realms of envy over gratitude. You can also use gratitude as a productivity hack. So when you turn to gratitude into another thing to do, I mean, I don't need any more things to do. Journal 3 things you're grateful for. It loses its meaning. If you're there trying to think of things to add to your list, oh, I should be grateful for, and I must do 3 things a day. Great. I mean, whatever. But then if you're really struggling to think about what to be grateful for, or you're doing it because you think you should rather than because you actually genuinely feel grateful, what is the actual point? Gratitude isn't about tick boxing. It's about feeling something. And that can be 5 seconds long, which we're going to get into in a little bit. People also tend to be very toxic and use gratitude to avoid change. Sometimes we hide behind gratitude because it's safer than admitting something isn't right. I should be grateful for my job, even though it's burning me out. I should be grateful for my body, even though it's craving to feel strong again. True gratitude doesn't mean you have to stay stuck. It gives you courage to want more. And I'm just so not down also with performing gratitude to please other people, to make it look like you're as cool as other people or whatever it might be. So those are some toxic traits of gratitude. We have that is a general thing. It's meant to be this good thing that rewires our brains and helps us see positivity. But in fact, it could be just dragging us down. So let's reframe. Gratitude is actually gentle. It's moments of awareness, not journal logging. It's noticing what's good without denying what's hard. And it's saying, I'm grateful for this, but I can also deserve more. And honestly, that's what's more helpful, because we as mums can be grateful to have our children, yet find them goddamn hard work. Or we can be grateful to have our kid, but really would like some more sleep. Because gratitude shouldn't invalidate what's hard. It should help us move through it. So, what should we do as mums? How should we make gratitude part of our life without making it more things for us to do? And how do we talk about gratitude with ourselves? Because I am sorry, gratitude could be really helpful with self-care, self-love, and compassion for ourselves. But how do we do that in a way that, again, doesn't feel like we're gaslighting ourselves? So we're often told, love your body no matter what. Be grateful you can move, carry your kids, get through the day. And that is true, but you can be grateful for your body and want to change it. Shock, horror, she didn't bloody say it. I know, I understand the whole body positivity thing, but you can want to change parts of your body. And they don't have to cancel everything out of it about each other. We are so caught up with this that we think that we have to have one without the other. But actually having gratitude for ourselves can make changing ourselves, if we want to, a lot easier. So you can go from maybe toxic thoughts like, I should be grateful I can exercise. Some people can't. I should be grateful I even have food. So why do I feel guilty about eating it? I should just accept myself. Wanting to feel strong makes me shallow. That's not gratitude. So what can we do instead? Instead, you could think about thanking your legs for getting you through another long day, even if they ache. Respecting your hunger instead of punishing it. Moving your body because it helps your mind, not just burning off dinner. And wanting to feel strong, confident, capable because that's self-respect and not self-hatred. When we force gratitude to sound like I love every inch of myself all the time, you're just setting yourself up to fail. Real gratitude would sound something like, some days I struggle with how I look, but I'm thankful for my body because it lets me live my life. And I'm working on treating it better. And that's the kind of gratitude that I'm in for. That's real sustainable change. That is my vibe. The kind that helps you eat well, move well, and rest well because you want to take care of yourself, not because you want to punish yourself, and you want a body that is gonna last. You want to be a fabulous bloody 80-year-old. You want to be like Helen Mirren. You don't want to be on the sofa unable to move. Again, how do we make this work practically? How? Well, in the book, Manifest 7 Steps of Living Your Best Life by Roxy Nafusi, she talks about gratitude as a core pillar of manifesting, which many of you might think manifesting is a bit woo-woo, but I've kind of come to terms with the fact that actually manifesting is visualizing something you want, having really clear ideas of what you want, and then to actually taking actionable steps to get there, which makes absolute sense, surely. But she said gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing the good so you can attract more. And Jessica Amber, who wrote Manifest Like a Mother, nails it when she says that motherhood changes your gratitude practice. You can't be journaling for 20 minutes. You've got to do it in the little moments. It's less about deep reflection and more about tiny little moments that feel like breaths of fresh air in all the madness. So, how do we make it work as mums? Well, I've got a few ideas. Things that I tend to do. This one for me is like my absolute go-to, and it's gratitude stacking. I literally pair it with something I already do. Brushing my teeth, and I just think of one thing that went right today. Even if it's just the fact that Lizzie ate something green. No word of a lie, I know I'm a fitness coach, but bloody hell, we've had some serious issues with my child eating vegetables. Or you could do it when you're making the coffee. You could do it when making a coffee. You could take 2 seconds to appreciate the quiet before the chaos. And that's a great one. I naturally wake up at 6. I have done, even at university, I was an early riser, but Steve starts work at 6 and Lizzie doesn't usually get up. And those moments of calm are blissful. Like, I actually really love those times. And it's a great time to actually be thankful, even before you start the day, and could actually set your day up to go far better instead of the chaos ones that I have where it literally goes from one thing to another. You could do 1 line gratitude instead of writing 3 bloody lines. Like, why don't you just think about one thing and just write it down? And it could be on your notes, on your phone. It doesn't have to be in any fancy blinking journal. It all counts. Or you could do a voice note. Or you could send a voice note to your friend, and you could have like a little thing going on, or you do it like, not even every day, maybe every other, or even if it was once a week where you go, right, I'm going to share this, especially if you've got someone that's going through a really hard time, someone with a divorce or someone who's really down or low, and you kind of go backwards and forwards just with one voice note going, I'm really thankful for this week because. What an absolute game changer. It's not perfect, but it's practical and you can work around it. So when gratitude becomes part of your rhythm rather than your to-do, it will feel more natural. It will take the edge off of constantly not feeling enough as well, because as mums, we tend to always have mum guilt, believe we're not doing enough. But if we're grateful for those small moments, it can really help us feel better and stop that nagging feeling that we're just not doing enough. You can also start to realise that gratitude and ambition can exist together. You can be thankful for what you have and still want more. And that's really important for mums, because we're made to feel guilty for wanting more, for wanting peace and progress, for wanting family time, but time for ourselves. But gratitude done right allows you to appreciate what is whilst reaching for what could be. So, let's be honest, gratitude is not this magic fix for overwhelm. If only. But maybe it's an anchor that could help you in the middle of it. It's not about gaslighting yourself. It's not about fake positivity, but it's finding little moments of peace, those quick pauses that remind you that you're doing better than you think. Because sometimes gratitude isn't about joy. It's about safe. It's about space, a deep breath, and a reminder that even on the hardest days, there's still something good, even if it's just a cup of coffee staying hot for once. And if this episode hit home, share it with a friend, because I'm a small account. I need as much help as possible to get the word out. I have absolutely loved doing this podcast. It brings me so much joy. I love longer form content like this, and I don't have to think about what I'm looking like. I don't have to, I don't even have to brush my hair for this one. It's fabulous. So rate, review, so it takes you mere minutes, and the podcast gods will love me just a little bit more. I might push this episode, which might help more people in the long run. So I look forward to all seeing you soon. Come and find me on Instagram at claire.thecoachingkings, and please let me know if this episode was of any use to you. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in 2 weeks' time, where I hope to have a guest. No less. So make sure you follow so you get a notification when that one drops too.